In a stunning political move, President Joe Biden has granted a sweeping pardon to his son Hunter Biden, covering potential federal crimes over a decade-long period from January 2014 to December 2024. What exactly does this mean and how does it fit into the long history of presidential pardons in the US? Let's break it down. A presidential pardon is one of the most powerful tools in the US president's arsenal. The US Constitution grants the president the broad power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. But it's not just about letting someone off the hook. It's a form of legal forgiveness. A pardon can end punishment, restore rights like voting, and even clear the path for someone to run for office. Over the years, many presidents have used this power sometimes to heal national wounds, sometimes to help close allies or family members. Let's take a look at some of the most famous presidential pardons. In 2001, President Bill Clinton pardoned his half-brother Roger Clinton for a 1985 cocaine-related conviction. A controversial move, it raised eyebrows, but it wasn't unprecedented. Then, in 2020, President Donald Trump pardoned his own son-in-law's father, Charles Kushner, for tax evasion, witness tampering, and campaign finance violations. Trump also handed out 237 acts of clemency, many of them to his political allies. But perhaps the most controversial presidential pardon came from Gerald Ford in 1974 when he granted a full pardon to his predecessor, Richard Nixon, sparing him from prosecution for any crimes committed during the Watergate scandal. Ford's move was seen as a way to help the country move forward, but it also sparked deep political division. And now, President Biden has stepped into the spotlight with a pardon that's unlike any that we've seen before. His pardon of Hunter Biden covers not only the tax and gun offenses Hunter pleaded guilty to earlier this year, but extends far beyond, covering any potential crimes the younger Biden may have committed between 2014 and 2024. This includes his time on the board of Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company which has long been a source of Republican accusations linking the Biden family to corrupt practices. Biden's decision to grant this full and unconditional pardon has raised serious questions. While he insists it was necessary to protect his son from what he calls selective prosecution, critics argue that it could be a political move, designed to shield Hunter from any future charges that might arise, especially as Republicans prepare for a potential investigation into the Biden family's foreign business dealings. But is this an abuse of power? Some critics believe it reflects a deeper issue within the American political system, the weaponization of the justice system. By granting such a broad pardon to his son, President Biden has set a precedent that critics fear will erode public trust in the fairness of US law enforcement. It's also important to remember that presidential pardons are not new, and that past presidents, both Democrats and Republicans, have used their power to pardon allies, family members, and even themselves. Former President Trump, for instance, issued numerous pardons during his tenure, some of which raised eyebrows for their political implications. Now that Trump returns to office, we can expect a similar use of presidential clemency. In the end, Biden's pardon of his son is a reflection of the increasingly polarized political climate in America. With both parties accusing each other of using the justice system for political gain, questions about fairness and accountability will only continue to grow. Biden may have pardoned his son out of a sense of fairness and protection for his family, but the consequences of this decision go far beyond the Biden family. As we move into a new political era, one thing remains clear. The presidential pardon tool is more than just a legal tool. It's a weapon of political influence. And with both parties now fully aware of its potential, we may be witnessing the start of a new era of presidential clemency. The question is, what does the future hold? Bureau Report, India Today Global.